Hello. Today in AP Psych, I'd like to give you a couple friendly reminders. This weekend, you have a very long outline to do. And if you wait until Tuesday night to complete said long outline, you will want to die. I don't want you to die. So please plan ahead and get your outline done early, like on Sunday, watching football. Get it done. Your life will be better. Jalissa's like, no, she won't help herself. Okay, then watch whatever the hell you want. Get it done. And stop wasting my ink, girl. It's a brand new marker. And she just death stares me. I'm very confident I will stare back, Jalissa. I'm so glad we're recording this now. Thank you, Jalissa. Oh my God. She just straight up just trying to like intimidate me. I will not be intimidated by you. Did you see the face? Hell no. Moving forward. You have a vocab quiz on Monday, 11 through 20, and then you have 21 through 30 on Wednesday, and your test on Tuesday, and then you have a test on Wednesday. You need to get that outline done ahead of time. Corinne, stop wasting my ink, girl. You're going to try to intimidate me too? Oh, it's yours? Oh, then waste your ink all day. See, she didn't try to intimidate me. Just you, Jalissa. Anyway, so please make sure you get your outline done this weekend. I don't want you stressed out on Tuesday night. On your whiteboard, please tell me what brain waves are emitted while you are falling asleep, half awake. We got this question wrong earlier. I want to make sure we actually learned something today. Kate? Theta. What brain waves are you using right now as you answer these questions, thinking and responding? Good. A lot of us got this question wrong earlier. What is it, Caroline? Theta. What brain waves are you using during REM? Good. What is that, Margot? Beta. So, in your deepest level of sleep, where you could be eaten by a bear because you're in such a deep level of sleep, what type of brain waves are you emitting? Good. What is it? What do you got? Ian, delta waves. On your whiteboard, please tell me how long are you typically in REM sleep? How long are you typically in REM sleep? Camden?
12 to 18 minutes.
12 to 18 minutes. On your whiteboard, please tell me during what stage of sleep are you dreaming? Good. What is it, Hayden? REM. All right. So, I hope that you see the little sheet that we made yesterday. The little diagram is very helpful. Okay, it is very important. It is also question number 1 on your focus, by the way. So, don't look at me like that, Alexis. Okay, so you already have the answers to number 1. Kate. Is delta? REM is beta waves. No, delta is stage 4. That's like when you could be eaten by a bear. Because you're so deep. All right, here we go. I know we kind of started, but like we had like 10,000 questions, which is perfectly fine. Okay, so consciousness, which is on the back of your study guide, if you didn't fill it in yesterday. I didn't get to talk about it, so I do want to do some clarity here. It's a person's awareness of everything that is going on around him or her at this given moment. This week, we're obviously talking about sleep cycles, which we did yesterday. We're also going to talk about drugs this week. I think on Tuesday, we're going to a mouse party. It's getting pretty wild. We're going to use some crazy drugs with us. So we're going to see the effects and all the science behind it, which is pretty interesting. Now, waking consciousness is a state in which thoughts, feelings, and sensation are clear, organized, and the person feels alert. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you should be experiencing now. You know how I commented to Jalissa that stop wasting my ink? And then she just literally stared me down. I was aware that she wanted to beat me up. I was aware of my surroundings and knowing that I was being physically... Don't use my content against me. Okay? I was aware that she was thinking to physically wanting to hurt me. Okay? I was aware of that. I was in waking consciousness. Altered state of consciousness. Okay? Altered state of consciousness it may not be on there, but you may want to make a note of it, is when there is a shift in the quality or pattern of mental activity. Okay, so when you take, like NyQuil, okay, NyQuil, if you take it, if you try staying up after you take it, you feel all wonky? Yes? Okay, and that just gives you the craziest dreams too on top of it. Okay, that would be altering your state of consciousness. If you've ever been on any serious drugs, prescribed, of course. Some of you are smirking at me, and that makes me uncomfortable as well. I mean, not as intimidated as I previously was, but definitely uncomfortable. Moving forward. I do. I think I'm funny. And I see Jalissa over there dying and just so uncomfortable, and it just warms my heart. You didn't see her. She kind of like knocked up a little bit like that. So, if you've anyone here ever been on morphine? Like you went to the hospital, you had surgery and stuff like that, how did it affect you? Oh, I hated it. If you've ever gone to the dentist, you know how there's YouTube channels dedicated to people just getting home from the dentist, and they're like still high on the laughing gas or whatever, okay? That would be an altered state. I got my I got my wisdom teeth taken out, all four at the same time. And 2 days before I flew to Rome.
Really?
Yeah, that was not good planning.
The aftermath of the wisdom teeth hurt.
Oh, God. Huh?
The aftermath of the wisdom teeth hurt. What's gonna happen?
Well, yeah, especially because I got them done like 3 years ago, and the older you are, the worse it is. Because if you get them out at your age, it's not as bad. It's still bad, but it's not as bad. But if you're like an old lady and you get yours taken out, it is like super, super painful because your bones just mature. I'm not mature, but my bones are mature. And apparently all I kept saying to McCrae was, I'm so uncomfortable. And then he would ask me questions, and I would say, I really feel strange, and this is a strange world. That's all I said over and over again. And he has a video of it.
That's awesome.
We're very happy. Thank you for asking. Right, Kaylee? Okay, now, circadian rhythm, which I believe is on the front. Back. Just kidding. What do you got? Non-REM. So every stage that's not REM. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is an REM. Circadian rhythm is a cycle of bodily rhythm that occurs over a 24-hour period. We briefly talked about this yesterday. I get hungry every single day at 10:15. On the weekends, I have to be going to lunch at 10:15. There has to be a definitive plan. I eat every Saturday and Sunday at 11 p.m. when the restaurant's open. I am there at a restaurant at 11 a.m. every Saturday and Sunday.
At least you don't have to wait.
Exactly. Eulalie never has a wait at 11 a.m. If you want to go to Eulalie, it's perfect. You can sit outside on the patio. It's lovely. And that's probably where the Bennetts will be every Sunday. We're not. But we may have been for the last 4 weeks in a row.
4 weeks?
Whoa, Judgy. Have you ever had the U Club? It's delicious.
I don't like you lately.
Well, then you're wrong.
It's like healthy though, so McCrae must love it. It's got like some healthy
Yeah, he likes the healthy stuff. He's the worst. Okay, hypothalamus. Is that on there? No? Okay, but you do need to know that the hypothalamus is the one regulating your circadian rhythm, so you should write that down. In your circadian rhythm box, I would say the hypothalamus is the one who regulates it. Okay, and it's the one that your hypothalamus is the one that tells you like your sleep time, your hunger, all of those different components. So it's your hypothalamus that regulates your circadian rhythm. Everyone's circadian rhythm is a little bit differently. My husband and I, we do not have the same circadian rhythms, even though we obviously live together. He likes to stay up a little bit later than I do. I am hungry all the time. My husband is not. He is, he likes exercising. I do not. That has nothing to do with your circadian rhythm, but like, I just wanted you to know. Micro sleeps. We have those. This is like awful. Who made this? Okay, micro sleeps. I'm gonna see this for a second. We're coming to those. So you should be a little bit aware of a microsleep is a brief sidestep into sleeping that only lasts a few seconds. Have you ever just blipped in and out of your consciousness? Like you're standing there and you're like watching and you're just like, what happened? That's a microsleep. When you just miss moments of content in a lecture and you're just like staring off into space, that's a microsleep. Now, sleep deprivation, ladies and gentlemen, you do need to know, is going to result in concentration and irritability. Have you ever gone without sleep one night? So this isn't news to you. Wow. It's so surprising in 2019. You guys are stressed? I can't believe it. Oh, there we go. On the bottom of the study guide. Perfect. Effects of sleep deprivation. Okay. Yes. Okay. Effects of sleep deprivation are going to cause loss of sleep, resulting in concentration and irritability. You may be surprised, but I am not a joy to be around when I'm sleepy. Is that hard to believe? No, I didn't think so. But I am a very fussy person when I'm tired. Anyone else here a very fussy person when they're tired? There you go. Is anyone just like silent when they're tired? That's McCray. He just doesn't have words. He just literally runs out. If he doesn't get sleep, he just can't make words. That's him. I talk too much about how tired I am, and he literally wants to murder me. We know how tired you are. Stop telling us. And then 2 seconds later, guess what I say? I'm so tired. It's the only thing I can talk about.
Yeah, and then everyone gets so annoyed.
Yeah, and I can't help it. So embrace it. That's how I feel about it. Okay, now every animal is a little bit different in their necessity of sleep. Now it's called the adaptive theory. Everything sucks.
Psychoanalytic theory.
That's coming. You do need to know adaptive theory. So how about, because you know how hypnosis, cross it off. I don't need that shit anymore.
Oh, it's based on the focus set?
Yeah, sadly. You can get rid of number 3 and 4 on your focus.
Okay, well, I need those.
Well, good, because you don't need them anymore. They got rid of it this year. Hashtag blessed. Okay, you can get rid of number 3 and 4 on your focus. For hypnosis, cross it off and write adaptive theory, because there is a question on your test about the adaptive theory. It is the theory of sleep proposing that animals and humans evolve sleep patterns to avoid predators by sleeping when predators are most active. Okay, so the reason why we sleep at night is because bears hunt at night. So in order to avoid being mauled by a bear, we sleep at night. Okay? And the reason why we go in and out of cycles of sleep, and we're not just in delta or an REM the whole time, is so if a bear comes into our cave trying to eat us, we'll hopefully wake ourselves up. I'm afraid of bears. Can you tell? Actually, I'm not. I just think it's a good image. Because, like, if a bear's coming after you, like, it's obviously terrifying. Do you know bears can, when they stand on their hind legs, get up to, like, 12 feet tall? Could you imagine?
I like can't picture them. I've seen a bear.
They're like,
So scary.
they're like 900 pounds. And they move quickly. Not for long distance, but, like, they move.
They're scary.
They are pretty scary. Up in New Hampshire, there was a bunch of black bears who lived in the woods right around our house. And one of them had to be like 700 pounds.
They're all over.
The cubs are pretty cute. Like the lion.
They are pretty cute, but don't get near them, man. That's a 100% case how you get mauled. Anyway.
But then how do those dudes on Instagram, like, go hang out with all these
Because they're in zoos. They've been domesticated, Bob.
dudes? No, they're out in, like, Africa.
Yeah.
Bears
That
are
guy-
African?
There's no bears in Africa.
No, not
I'm
with
pretty
bears.
sure.
I'm saying that there's dudes sitting with, like, a lion.
Darling, I don't know. It's not just a random American showing up and hanging out with a lion. Connor, I literally can't, Connor. All right, restorative theory. This is just so annoying.
I'm just writing it on the back of the sleep cycle.
Oh, I like that. Thank you, Alexis. You do need to know restorative theory. It is on your weekly test. Don't hate me. I don't know what happened here.
Wait, where?
You can write it on your sleep cycle chart.
Can I just write it on the
I don't care where you wrote it. I thought Alexis's idea of writing it on your little chart is a good idea. But if you would like to write it wherever you want to, Kaylee, do you?
I felt like this.
Literally write it
No.
anywhere.
Write it
number 3 or 4.
Sure. There you go. Alexis, you are solving problems all over the place. Kate, you are solving problems all over the place. Is that better? Here we go. Restorative theory is a theory of sleep proposing that sleep is necessary to the physical health of the body and helps replenish. I'm coming back. Oh my God. I'm trying to get so you can see the words so you don't start fussing at me for words. The restorative theory is the belief that sleep is necessary to the physical health of the body and deserves to replenish chemicals and repair cellular damage. I prefer this theory to adaptive theory. Now remember, it's not proven 100%, so it's why it's called a theory. So there's some genuine factors to both. I prefer the restorative theory. When you have a great night's sleep, is there anything better? There's nothing better. Your whole day, you just wake up and you are just hearing the birds sing. You feel like you're Snow White and the birds and the animals just come to you and you just feel like you were walking on sunshine. That's what good sleep can do. Yeah, you can walk around singing The Hills Are Alive, too. You can really blend some stuff together. We good? No? Got it. Nina, I'd wait for you anytime you need to, girl. Were you just tired of looking at Camden's head?
No.
Yes?
No.
Is that why you jumped?
No. It was just hard for me to see something.
Because of Camden's head?
No.
Apologize.
No, it's fine.
We can switch.
No. Okay.
I like being in the back.
I thought you hated being in the back.
I grew to like it.
Your snarky comments can be heard anywhere, so does it really matter?
I feel like I've gotten better.
Literally everyone just snarled at your lie. Brainwaves!
I'm not the only one. No.
Okay, you do need to know that EEG machine is the one that picks up our brainwaves. Does that make sense? Like we've already studied this when we did brainwaves, when we did parts of the brain, yes? Okay, so you do need to know it's an EEG machine that does read your brain activity. So just be familiar about that. Okay, alpha waves are the brain waves that indicate the state of relaxation or light sleep. If you get a massage, okay, while you're sitting there before you fall asleep in your massage, you're emitting alpha waves. When you're just super relaxed, hanging out, alpha waves. Theta waves are brain waves indicating the early stages of sleep. That's when you're like falling asleep officially. So alpha waves is when you're like super zoned out, just super happy. Like yoga, anyone here do yoga classes or done a yoga class? What is the ending prayer thing?
Oh.
No, that's what they literally say when you leave. Vishnavi or, yeah. Like when you just sit there and you focus on your breathing and you're just like lying on your mat and you're just like sitting there super comfortable and you're just like super relaxed, that's alpha waves. If you haven't done a yoga class, you really should. By the way, in Hawaii, I made McCrae do a yoga class and now he's obsessed. So they're for both men and women.
That is such an crazy.
It is. We did it on the beach. And then we went to a yoga class here in Tampa and he's like, it's not as nice as it is on a beach in Hawaii. And I was like you needed that to be verbalized to figure that out. He's really cute though, so it's fun. Anyway, theta waves are the first stages of sleep. That's your semi-conscious, semi-asleep, falling asleep and your mom's like, are you awake? And you're like, ah. And you fall back asleep. And then like, are you up? And you're like, ah. And then like you're still in bed. That's theta waves. Delta waves are the super long, super deep one. Like your little sister tries waking you up and you're literally dead. And you just physically don't move.
You just put in an application of like alpha or no.
No.
I put the EEG for the application.
What's an application of delta waves?
Being mauled by a bear. You're really writing that down. That's amazing. It's like the stage 4 sleep would also be a good one. Okay, so REM is rapid eye movement. REM sleep, write it down. Yeah. First box, finally. REM is a stage of sleep in which the eye moves rapidly under the eyelids and the person is typically experiencing a dream. Same thing happens for animals. My dog Toby, Dreams all the time. He's the healthiest sleeper I've ever met. If he sits still for 2 seconds, he's already asleep snoring. And he dreams all the time, and he runs in his dreams, and sometimes he howls in his dreams. And just so you know, when he howls in his dream, he howls in real life. So you're just like sleeping in bed, and then the dog starts howling. Not as loud as when he's awake, but still howling. And then you try waking him up because he's in REM sleep. Does he come out of his dream quickly or slowly? Slowly. So you're like shaking the dog, and the dog is still howling, and it takes way too long to wake him up. And then he looks at you like, what are you doing?
What about my dog having a nightmare?
He had a nightmare?
Yeah, my puppy had a nightmare.
Oh, that's
She
so
was-
sad.
Yeah, she was like, I don't know, like yelping kind of.
Oh my
I
God,
was
that's so
waiting on
sad.
that. This is so sad.
Oh my God. Don't say things like that. We don't talk about things like that. All right, we've already gone through these, so I'm just going to skip them. We already done. Okay, you do need to know REM rebound. Oh my God, I'm literally going to put this on. Oh my God, death to everything. So I'm redoing this for next year, quite clearly. I would write this down because it is on your test, by the way. REM rebound is an increased amount of REM sleep after being deprived of REM sleep on earlier nights. We talked about this briefly yesterday. Have you ever gone a couple of nights without sleeping just because you have major projects, you have family commitments, you have all this stuff, and then you literally crawl into bed after all the stuff kind of passes, and then you literally wake up in the exact spot you fell asleep in, like you didn't move? And then you're like, oh my God, I didn't move. And like, that's REM rebound. You go through much longer REM stages than a normal cycle because your body is just so depleted, which goes back to that restorative theory that when your brain needs to be restored and refreshed and rewired, that's what REM sleep is for. And so REM rebound actually supports that, which is pretty cool. We don't care. Got it. REM disorder, you don't need to know this. You don't have to write it down. Just listen because it's kind of cool. It's people who act out their dreams. Now try living and loving someone like this. Good Lord. They literally, so if they're like swimming, guess what they're doing? Yeah, if they're like fighting off like a serial killer with a knife, guess what they're doing? Yes, that is like their disorder, which is not funny. But it's definitely interesting. So their lives are pretty hard on that. Okay, sleepwalking. This is absolutely on your study guide, and it is absolutely on your focus, by the way. It's on the front of your focus. It's on your focus. Somnambulism is. Come at me. Okay? It's there. It's on the front. It's on both. See? Corinne has my back. By the way, Corinne, you look really nice in purple. Purple is really your color, girl. I look like Barney when I wear purple. Not to make it about me, but every time I wear purple, it's awful. It's like you can either wear purple or not, and like I am not a purple person. The fact that you're laughing as hard makes me feel like you've seen me in purple, and you're like, yes, she cannot pull up purple. It's facts, though. It's really true. If you saw me in purple, you would just die because it literally looks like I'm a cheesy cartoon dinosaur. Somnambulism, also known as sleepwalking, occurs during deep sleep or an episode of moving around or walking around in one's sleep. Little children go through stages of somnambulism or sleepwalking. Okay, it is very common for little kids to go through this stage. It's also very dangerous. Like my brother used to sleepwalk when he was younger. Actually, I don't know if he continues to do it because I don't live with him. Praise be. With that being said, my brother, when he was sleepwalking, he fell down a flight of stairs. Yeah, my mom heard him fall down the flight of stairs in the middle of the night, and my brother had no idea why he was there because he was sleepwalking. The reason why we knew my brother was sleepwalking is because he'd make himself peanut butter and fluff sandwiches in the middle of the night. And so, of course, he's not a very considerate person anyway, my brother. So do you think he was considerate while he was sleepwalking? No, so he would make the kitchen a mess every single night in his sleepwalking. So my mom used to accuse him of making peanut butter and fluff sandwiches, and my brother's like, I absolutely did not leave my room. So one night, my mom sat in the kitchen and waited, and my brother came in, and she started talking to him, like yelling at him, like, I told you were doing this, and he just...
That's so weird.
It is really weird.
Why didn't you wake them up?
Scary.
Because you're not supposed to wake people.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Really scary.
Now, I'm so grateful, and I know my brother is probably grateful that during that generation, when we were kids, we didn't have cell phones.
Why aren't you supposed to wake
Because that would be so traumatizing. Huh? You're not supposed to wake them up. If you have like a little kid or a family member who is sleepwalking, you just want to make sure they don't hurt themselves. You don't want to wake them up, because if you wake them up, you're going to startle them awake, and then they could like lash out. They're going to freak out because they're not in their bed, which is where they were obviously last remembered being, and it's just really dangerous to do. So you're just supposed to let them do what they're supposed, like what they're doing.
But it's so weird.
You're supposed to like guide them back to
Yeah, you're supposed to be like nudge what.
How do you do that? Because obviously you have to like see, like your brain has to be functioning for you to like see and do things.
Your brain's functioning. It's obviously, but you're just not consciously aware. Like your brain is like half asleep, half awake all the time, and it's just actively moving. Now, as you get older, if you're not a sleepwalker now, Ian, by the way, you have 9 terrors up there, and you could write that down on both your focus and your study guide, boss. If you're not a sleepwalker now, you're not going to be. I was never really a sleepwalker. When you're a little kid, it's very common. It's very common when you're a little kid. However, if you're not a sleepwalker now, you're probably not going to be for the rest of your life. Very few people continue it into adulthood, which is why I don't think my brother does it anymore. I hope not, because like it's weird. What do you got, Jalissa? Did you have a question, my darling?
She is so bad. Like, she's gotten out of her bed and gone into my bed before. And, like,
There's definitely worse things you could be doing.
And then she lay there and then got back up and went back to her bed. Like,
There's a kid in Tampa a couple years ago whose parents, like the kid would just leave the house in the middle of the night walking. I think this is like 4 or 5 years ago. And the parents locked the doors. And the kid in the middle, like in sleepwalking, would like break out of the house and just go wandering around the neighborhood. And the kid's like 5 or 6 years old, so it's like super dangerous. Like the police got involved many times trying to, and they would lock like to have a super high lock on the door, and the kid in the sleep would get things to climb up to get out of the house. They set alarms, and the alarms wouldn't even wake up the kid.
Like, how is he like walking down the stairs?
Yeah, I
seeing
don't
the log?
understand. Your eyes
like,
open.
it's
There's no way.
It's just like this
I
blend.
sleepwalk
That's
and
what I
sleepwalk,
thought.
and I just don't.
No
My parents
way.
tell me that we've had conversations, and I'm like,
Yeah, there's no
I
recollection
do not.
of
I
it.
have no
Absolutely.
recollection of what I did.
Yeah, for sure. Do you still do it?
I still do it. Yeah.
You may grow out of it. You may still have it. You may grow out of it. Typically, because your brains don't mature. All the ladies in the room, your brains mature around the age of 20, 21. All the men in the room, your brains don't reach maturity until 22, 24. So up until then, everything's kind of in flux until you hit those markers, age markers, and then your brain kind of starts mellowing out because you have less of the puberty and less of the hormonal growths and all that stuff. So the things that are happening now does not mean it will continue. On the other side of it, after you go through puberty, which you already have, and you've gone through the maturity of the hormones, after they settle in, so for ladies 20 to 21, for men 20 to 24, after that you may have brand new problems you've never experienced. So the surprises keep coming, friends. Hashtag blessed. What? Charles?
Are your eyes open
Are my eyes open?
when you're like sleepwalking?
Yes.
My eyes are open.
So are they
Yeah.
like wide open?
Yeah, they're not just wandering around like zombies, man.
Your
Yeah.
eyes are open.
Yes.
They're sleeping.
Yes.
They're like unconscious.
Then how are you not like?
I know you don't know this feeling because you're under the age of 21. But when you hit the age of 21 and you have your first beer on your 21st birthday, which will be very exciting for you, you're going to get drunk off your first beer because you have no tolerance for beer, because there's no way you would break the law and have a beer before your 21st birthday. On your 21st birthday, you're probably going to experience drunk. And then if you keep drinking to excess, you may hit blackout drunk. which is very dangerous and is absolutely terrible and very scary. As a 21-year-old who can drink alcohol, you'll probably experience it hopefully only once in your life and then realize, wow, that's a really stupid thing to do. If you've ever been, when you're 21 and you have your first beer,
I don't know why you just.
I'm just saying, I'm answering your question, darling. When you're 21 and you have your first beer and you go blackout drunk for the first time and only time of your life because you're going to be responsible adults, what's going to happen is you're going to do a bunch of stupid stuff and your friends are going to tell you about it. That's kind of like what sleepwalking is. You're clearly doing things, you're clearly engaged in things, but you have no recollection. That's kind of the sensation of sleepwalking. Is that things are happening, things are doing it, and you just have no recollection of it.
So, imagine waking him up like down the street.
Yeah, it happens every once in a while. You hear about it happening. Kids. All right. What? Is this you getting signed out?
And
What do you got?
When you're like blackout drunk and then you're sleepwalking, is it the same thing in your brain?
Are you
that's, like-
saying that you were drunk and sleepwalking at the same
No,
time?
no, like,
That's not.
no,
It's
no.
Yes, ma'am. It's kind of like the same part. It's kind. I know you have never experienced these things because you're clearly underage, but you've probably seen movies where this has occurred, and it's kind of like the same type of thing. People are still active, still doing stuff, but yet they have no recollection.
What part of the brain is that like shuts down?
That slows down. It's going to be your frontal lobe, which is the one that's processing all movement, finding all movement, and stuff like that. Have a good day, guys.
Wait,
Oh, thank you.
Because you're still doing things that animals